So I went to Portugal for $450 round trip. Yes. Yes.
What up, everyone? CharisMaggie here, and welcome back to my channel where I encourage you to submerge yourself in culture and live a meaningful life. Now I know y'all see the setup and you see a new face right here. Let me just say, this is not my space, borrowed goods, okay? Today I'm here with fellow YouTuber Reni.
Hi.
Hey, welcome. And I mentioned in one of my videos that I would do a video eventually talking about career. And Reni, she is actually a YouTuber who focuses on finance, lifestyle, career. You know what? Introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for that kind welcome. I'm Reni, as Maggie said. I am a YouTuber in Toronto, and I focus on finance, career, and lifestyle on my channel.
All right. So you're probably wondering, what does that have to do with my niche? Well, we're going to talk about how you're going to make a proper plan for getting food out and going to all the destinations.
Not food out.
Food out. Whether you're flying out yourself or you got a booting flying you out, you got to know how to properly do that. So I wanted to bring Reni on because apart from me being able to move to different countries and actually living there, the truth is I haven't really visited a lot of countries like on my own. So I want to do more of that. So she's going to help us out today because how many countries have you actually visited?
I've been to 30, and this month I'll be going to my 30th.
30?
Yes, 30 countries. So, you know, a little one too.
We're in good hands today, y'all.
Yes.
So a lot of you have mentioned, you know, I want to visit this place or that place whenever I do a video about a particular country. So this is what this video is going to be about. We're going to be talking about the best way for you to pick a destination, best practices, how to find the good deals, and lastly, how to budget, because that's what's stopping a lot of us.
Yes, it's the money.
The money pots.
Yes.
All right, so first question, Reni.
Yes.
If I want to pick a destination, like how do we even go about first deciding this is the place I want to visit?
Honestly, it's a very hard question because there are hundreds, of places that you could go in this world. So I think that the first thing you need to look at is your comfort with traveling. If you haven't traveled anywhere before, like going to somewhere where it's complete opposite of where you currently live, probably not the best idea. Like if I live in Toronto and I'm trying to go, and my first trip ever is going to be Saudi Arabia, I feel like that probably not the best place for your first trip, at least. Yeah. I would go somewhere where it's similar to your existing location. So for example, if you live in Canada, maybe you want to go to the States. It's pretty similar, but there are obviously a lot of differences, but at least like you'll feel comfortable. I'm sure you talk about culture shock on your channel a lot. Yeah. Travel culture shock, like you don't even have time to adjust back. You know, with culture shock, you can adjust, but if you travel for a week, where's the time to adjust? So you want to, for your first few travels, find somewhere where you're not going to experience extreme culture shock. That would be my first suggestion by choosing your destination. Obviously, the second thing would be safety, you know, like choose somewhere that is safe for you. I travel solo often, so safety is paramount when I'm choosing my location. Even though we could say that like the States is probably not the safest place, you know.
It's debatable.
Yeah, quite debatable. But yeah, I would say safety. And you can look up on different websites about what countries are ranked high for solo travelers. And they rank them based on like how safe they are, basically. So I would look that up. And then obviously the price would be something that you want to factor into your travel. So of course, there are some countries or locations specifically that are extremely expensive to travel to, whereas some are much more affordable. I lived in Thailand for 5 months. And while I was there, the reason I chose Thailand out of all the other countries I could have gone to was because it's so affordable in comparison to maybe Singapore, which is just an hour away, but the price difference is
very significant.
So yeah, those would be a few things that I would look into.
Awesome. Oh, so you mentioned that you went to Thailand. Was that for like an exchange program?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
So as we're talking about best practices, I know that when you did go there, apart from researching for prices, you might have maybe researched a little bit about the culture just to know what to expect, right?
Oh, 100%.
So what are some best practices? Like now that you've like pinned down, okay, this is where I want to visit. How do you advise someone to like do research apart from safety and price of maybe I need to do more research about culture related stuff.
Yeah.
Too.
So what I did was I joined a group called Girls Love Travel. If you have Facebook, they have a huge group. Probably like 1 million people are in the group. Like it's a huge group with women across the world. Sorry, if you're a guy, honestly, not too sure. But if you are femme identifying or a woman, you can join that group. And they basically, that's how I learned about like cultural norms in different places, just to make sure I wasn't going to go somewhere and offend anybody because, you know, I'm alone in this country. I'm not trying to be thrown in jail because I did something that offended someone. So that be my first place. Always when I research, I would always look up, I would go into that group and look up what the cultural norms are in that country. And also you can just search, like do a Google search and see what the norms are. Like, for example, you know, tipping is okay in some countries, whereas tipping is offensive in others. So you want to research that before you go. I feel like they know you're not from there, so they probably won't like be like that offended if you decide to tip. However, if we can avoid it.
Yeah, let's just avoid it.
Yeah, let's just avoid it. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Well, definitely very helpful information. So we got that part down pat. So the second part now is the best place to find the deals, because Expedia be trying it sometimes. So
I don't even look at that place anymore. I don't.
So give us the secret sauce. Where do we go and look for, you know, affordable prices for traveling?
Yeah. So the first thing you need to do is browse on incognito mode. A lot of people are searching for flights, but you're looking on your normal browser. But when you do that, they are basically tracking you. And then if you don't buy it on that day, the next time you go, the flight is likely going to be at a higher price because they've been tracking you, you know? Yeah. So the first thing you want to do is browse on incognito mode. Always, always, always. Even if you're just browsing for fun or whatever, remember the cookies are there. They're tracking you. So just to avoid getting those high prices, definitely look in incognito mode. And then I like to look at search engines. Not like I don't go on the airline's website directly. I typically go on different search engines like Hopper, there's Google Flights, there's Student Universe. These are a bunch of places. If you are a student, look at Student Universe. They have like 30% off flights for students. Yeah.
Where was this information when I was paying all this money?
I just found it out and I'm upset. But someone told me that you could technically use your old student card because they don't verify. But, you know, I haven't actually tried it yet. But yeah, that would be a good place, especially if you're a student. Like, that's when you don't have any money. So, yeah.
And you want to try and visit family. Like, we all know the student budget is very slim. So, thanks for that.
Yeah.
that tidbit right there.
But Google Flights, especially. And another thing I would suggest is to be flexible about your dates. That would be one thing that really helped me, being flexible to like basically if I want to go, say, from the 9th to the 19th, but maybe the flights from the 8th to the 18th are better. Like, be flexible in the days that you can go. Not always possible, of course, if you have a job that has specific days, but it helps. Trust me, it helps a lot when you can say, I can just leave a day early or leave a day late or a few days, it definitely helps. So one more way that I find flights is by I subscribe to newsletters from Scotch Cheap Flights and Next Departure. Scotch Cheap Flights is if you're in the States. So I could drive over to Buffalo and like take a flight from there. Oh, that's another tip, I guess. Like look at different airports that are driving distance from you. So you don't have to go to the closest airport, because sometimes if you drive a little bit further, the deals would be better. Yeah. But of course that may require you to get a visa for the States, which is stress. So yeah. But that could be a tip. If you have your citizenship in Canada, it's easy to just go to Buffalo, and the flights are typically much cheaper from Buffalo. But again, back to my original point, Next Departure is a great newsletter for Canadians, and they basically give you like, what are they called? They find deals that they're basically glitches. Like, the airline will accidentally give a flight to Australia for $600 round trip, and if you book it in that time, then you're going to Australia, and they have to honor it. If you book it, they have to honor it. Okay. So I went to Portugal for $450 round trip. Yes. Yes, I went to Portugal for $450 round trip, and it was through one of those glitches that I saw. So
I hope y'all are taking notes here. Wow, that's cool. That's really cool. I'm definitely looking into all of this. Y'all are you've been asking me for vlogs and giving suggestions. Well, guess what? This is gonna start traveling and giving you actual face-to-face vlogs with all of these cultures, all right?
Yes, I can't wait to see it. She's about to be flued out all the way, everywhere.
If anyone wants to fly me out, any hotels, any countries, embassy, or what you call it, consulates, you want some ambassadors. Hi, my name is Maggie.
Yes. I'm here too. We can go together.
We can go together.
Yes. Take us. Sponsor us, please. So another point that I would mention is to save money, ideally, your accommodation. Accommodation is often one of the most expensive parts of traveling outside of your flight, because that's usually very expensive. So if you are looking for accommodation, one, you can stay with people that you have met on the internet. That sounds a little sketchy, but I have met some great people. And when I went to Korea, I stayed with my friend for 3 weeks. That's a long time, but 2.5, 3 weeks. And I didn't have to pay for accommodation that whole time. Obviously, when we went out, I would pay for her food. I bought her parents stuff. Like, you want to be gracious when you're there, but
don't just be a bum on it. Like, compensate.
Clean up after yourself. These are the things that you want to do. But that's one way that I saved a lot of money. Or I would sometimes stay in hostels. Hostels are basically, how would I describe it? It's kind of like a room where there are sometimes bunk beds, sometimes single beds. It's not like a fancy hotel, basically. And you're basically staying with other people in the same room. Personally, I'm such a light sleeper that I cannot do hostels, but when I needed to, it was cheap. It was very cheap.
Yeah.
You can also use Airbnb, which is something that I used in the past. Airbnb is getting a little expensive now. Yes. They have some random service charges that are making the prices go up, but sometimes you can find really great deals, and especially if you're staying in a house where the owner is also staying. And I find that you get a great local experience typically. If your host is great, like they will be like, oh, go to this place, and it's not just like you're reading stuff on Google. It's actually a local who's teaching you about the stuff. So those are some tips to save money when it comes to your accommodation. And another tip that I would have is when it comes to just booking in general, if you're booking a resort, for example, if you can lump your car, your hotel, your flight all together, they typically save you a lot of money.
Decreases a bit.
Yeah, you have to make sure you research to make sure that all three of those things are up to your standards. But great way to save a lot of money.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So this was very, very helpful. And I think I feel a bit more confident now to look for, this year, I don't care what's going on. This year, I'm catching a flight somewhere. Okay.
Yes.
But of course, the last thing, my budget gotta be right. You know what I'm saying? So tell us, how do you properly budget for a trip?
This one is hard depending on your income, especially if you're a student. Like, your income isn't always consistent. So that is one thing that can hinder you. But if you're not, this is what I did. Let me tell you what I did, because I traveled while I was a student. Every time I would get paid, I would put a little bit of money towards a travel fund. And I didn't keep this money in my general savings account. I didn't keep it in with a bunch of other things. I was like, this is my money and it's only for travel. And I named it Travel Fund, and I put all my money there. You can check out EQ Bank if you're in Canada, and they have a decent interest rate compared to a lot of other banks. That's where I was putting my money there. And every month it would be $200 and I'm putting in there. $200. It doesn't have to be anything huge. If you can't put $100, $200, put less than that. But it's the act of consistently putting money towards it so that you don't go in debt in order to go travel. Because I think a lot of people put their travels on their credit cards, which is good if you have the money to pay it off at the end of the month. But if you don't, I don't really recommend going into debt to travel. But start a travel fund, and on a consistent basis, put money towards it. If you already have an idea of where you want to go and research on those websites that I said, or on Google, on Girls of Travel, and see what people suggest budgeting. Because people will say, for my whole trip, I spent $2,000, and then they'll give an exact breakdown of those things. Yeah. So go there, look what other people, and there are a lot of blogs as well. If you're not on Facebook, there are a lot of blogs that people say, this is exactly how much money I spent at this location. And then while you're there, Yeah, all you have to do is basically say, okay, $2,000, and it's going to take me 1 year or I want to travel in 1 year. And then you break that down per month. Every month, but like my savings plans, right?
Let's plug that right now. Link is going to be in the description box for all the savings plans you can download from her website, because even if you're not planning to travel, like it's still it's the habit of consistency, as Reni mentioned. So, yeah.
Especially during COVID, like when nobody was traveling, I was still putting money towards that travel fund, because I'm like, whenever these borders open, I'm out of here. I was like, I am out of here. So I always make sure to consistently put money. No matter what, that is part of my budget, and I'm putting money towards my travel every single month. And it does me well. Like, I'm traveling next month, I have enough money so I don't have to go in debt in order to fund it. Yeah.
So pretty much from what I heard, like, it seems like it really comes down to you got to do research. Like, a lot of us, like, we like the lazy work, man. Like, do little extra work so that you can have the best experience possible. And I think for me, through this channel, like, I've met so many great people who have, like, either come on or I've connected with, like, on Instagram or whatever. So I feel like I would feel confident that if I wanted to visit their country, I could, like, hit them up and be like, hey, can you recommend this place, that place? So it's good to also get to know people from other places. For situations like this, you have more options to, 100%. Accommodate yourself. So 100%.
Oh, I just thought of another tip, actually. To save money while you're traveling, do walking tours. They're typically free, and that's how I made friends every time I travel. So especially when I'm in Europe, I'll do a free walking tour, which is typically offered. You obviously tip the guide afterwards. And then I got to make so many new friends. Like, I met people who were who live in the city that I live in here. It was so weird. And I still talk to him today. And I met so many other people, because a lot of the people there are also solo travelers. They're young people who are going on these walking tours. So it's a great way to go for free. Obviously, you have a tip, but go for free and then meet a lot of people while you're there.
Awesome. Y'all are getting all these gems. I hope you're taking notes. I forgot to tell y'all to have your notebooks, but if you forget anything, the video is always here. Just come rewatch. Watch the ads too. Thank you very much.
Yes. Watch all of it, all the way through. And share this with a friend as well.
Yes. Wow. Thank you so much, Reni. And I'm actually in a Facebook. I'm in a Facebook group that she created for helping us be accountable. So everyone has a set goal that they want to save. And the entire group is it's like over $1 million, like the savings goal is. So I really encourage you to go check out her channel. Again, it doesn't matter what country you're in, because whatever information she provides, you can apply it to what's available to you, because it's really general. But then she also breaks it down for Canadians, of course, because that's where we live. But yeah, please go ahead, go over to, it's Reni the Resource, their name on YouTube.
No, it's Exo Reni.
Exo Reni is the name of her YouTube channel. And I made it easy for y'all. It's going to be linked up here, and also description box. All the good things them in the description box, all right? Thank you so much for watching. Any final thoughts before we head out?
No, that's all. Thank you all for watching this video. Thank you, Maggie, for having me. No, I love her channel. So yeah, guys, make sure you're subscribed if you're not already subscribed.
Thank you. And I'll see y'all in the next one. And you know what? I'm going to put this video here. You might like this one, so go ahead and watch this video right here. See ya.
Bye.